Okay. It is now time for Officially Unofficial to enter the spoiler zone of Splatoon 3's single-player campaign. Among other things, because it turns out we ended up delaying this episode so much that a patch has come out and some stuff has happened, so we're going to talk about that first.
Wait, it's not early October anymore?
No, it isn't. It is, in fact, at the end of October, and by the time that we have another podcast, it's probably going to be at least November.
What happened?
Stuff, things, scheduling nonsense. Just a whole host of crap. But yeah. We're gonna be... But yeah, just to start things out, yeah, once again, it's me, Par, Icy is with me. Arbiter's getting
Hello.
a drink or something, so he'll be here in a moment. And yeah, quite a few things happened with the patch that came out the other day. Most notably, a lot of bug fixes. Like, a lot of bug fixes.
Some made a difference, others did not.
Yeah. Ultra Stamp has gotten a lot of fixes, which I think has definitely helped it a little bit, though I don't know if any of its weapons are going to necessarily break into the meta as a result of them.
It functions as it's supposed to. So, not rather than being low tiers, some of them are going to be mid tiers, and then minis probably going to be slightly higher than mid tier.
Yeah, I think Mini has gotten like a really good kit, honestly, now that Stamp
I went
works.
back to it, yeah. After the patch came out, I started playing Mini and Zones again. It feels good, so...
It's also just going to get help that the frame rate got reduced by 3. That the... Oh, what's the word for it? Got reduced by 3 frames.
Packet sending, I think, is what it is.
It's like the latency's slightly better on average by like 3 frames.
Yeah. So things are a little bit more responsive now.
Yeah, which is just good for Brellas and Mini.
Yeah. It's not going to make that big a difference. It's just a small thing that is kind of helping out.
Agree to disagree. Mostly it helps Salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have to wait half an hour for the egg to decide to get picked up.
Yeah. That was definitely a little frustrating whenever that did happen.
That being said, patch has not done anything for Tentabrella.
No. I looked at those and I was just kind of like, this seems really minor and doesn't fix the core issue, does it?
The frame rate is the best change, but the game's too fast.
Yeah. I think right now it's just kind of like the way that the game actually is played, like, it's just not super great to be a tent player.
It's not a solo queue weapon at the moment. You kind of have to have a team and all be on the same page. And
you're basically going to have to agree, we want to play slow in a meta where you want to play fast.
It's not so much that you have to play slow, it's that you just have to let... There is a delay to the start of the game where the tent has to get, at least so far as I've played, the tent needs to get its first beacon down, and then the game starts.
Yeah.
Everything after that, you can go, whatever speed you were going before. It's just that slight delay at the beginning of the game.
You just need that setup.
Yeah. And after that, tent's fine.
I mean, it's not unfamiliar to set play. It's just when this game moves as fast as it does, you kind of need a lot of help to get that set play actually going.
It's a lot faster than 2.
Yeah.
The way... But yeah. More than just that ended up happening, but yeah.
I mean, those are the big things. A couple things got their special point increased.
Hi, missiles!
Yeah, by a tiny, tiny amount that isn't going to matter in the long run. You maybe get, like, 1 less in a couple of games. And that's about it.
Reflux had its missile get time increased by 13 frames.
Wow.
Man, the physics got nerfed harder than that.
I think the most substantial change that was actually a balance change was the fact that the ink recovery lag on Fizzy Bomb was increased by 1/4 of a second. means its
And
spammability has gone down by not, I would say, a back-breaking amount, but definitely a noticeable one.
you can
I'm
feel
gonna
it.
feel it on Aerospray. You can
can-
feel it on Machine 2, but I'm especially gonna feel it on Aerospray.
You can feel it, but you can easily adapt to it.
Yeah.
Probably just on a couple more, a sub or two, I think, recovery, probably.
I wouldn't say anything in the meta has changed except that Mini has become viable and people can play the Splatana Wiper without being a troll.
Yeah. Having started to mess around with the wiper now that the patch has happened, yeah, Stamp actually does feel functional now. I don't feel terrified to pop it at any given time anymore.
But yeah, not a big patch, not a lot's changed, generally things. But that's not the main topic of this podcast.
No, it is not. It is not. The only other thing that I think is worth noting before we dive into that, however, is just now it seems we're going to be waiting on another hotfix, as Rainmaker in general is just unavailable because of a unfortunate bug.
So, for anyone that doesn't know, Rainmaker pre-patch had this weird thing where you go to the top of the pedestal about to dunk, and if you die, it goes to 3. Sometimes it goes to 2. So, the dev saw this, is like, that's really weird. We're gonna set it back to 1. Small problem. They didn't specify in the code which pedestal was going to 1.
So it can
Yeah.
happen at the checkpoint.
So once you break the checkpoint, if you hit the pedestal the right way for the checkpoint pedestal, it just goes to 1.
Yup. Which is a bit of a problem.
So that's why Rainmaker is temporarily down. It's probably not going to be a hard fix. It's just going to be a question of, do they want to throw other bug fixes in with it?
Yeah, I'm going to imagine if they do, it's not going to be very many fixes. It's probably just going to be the one plus maybe a couple of others that they were found easy to fix in that time frame. Because I imagine they're not going to let this bug stay around for too long because they want the mode to be playable, right?
Well, the wall bug for machine is still there.
Yeah.
It's not the only weapon that can do it, but it's the easiest one.
Yeah.
So I'm sure those will come paired.
I think, yeah, those two will probably come together. I'm assuming we're at least getting one more before the end of the season patch happens, so.
Probably.
Probably not one. We're probably going to get one more bug fix, yeah, but nothing that's going to touch balance probably until this season, because it said as much in the notes.
I expect it will come alongside the official announcement of the Splatfest in-game, even though we've known about it for 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm assuming they'll patch it by sneak peek, which should be next week, right?
Anyway, we have a monster of a topic. We should probably get started.
Yeah, alright, so this is going to be your final warning in case you didn't look at the title, or if you or if you're just joining us right now. We are going to be talking about the single player of Splatoon 3, and this is a general spoiler warning. Every single topic that is contained within is completely up for talking about. We're not, so that includes stuff like the final boss, any post-game content, just the entire thing in general. So this is your warning to put this podcast away until after you've done it.
Yeah, if you care about the story at all and you haven't played it yet, get the fuck out!
Well, I wasn't going to be that blunt about it, but...
I mean, it's basically what it is. We're giving you time. We're delaying this now. At the end of one of these sentences, we will start.
You got 5 seconds to find that X button, and 4, 3, 2, 1, Jeff Bezos.
I knew you were going to lead with that. Okay, do we want to just start there? Do we just want to start at the big one?
No, I think it's fine to just lead that. So anyway, we start off the story mode by meeting Captain Cuttlefish.
Yeah, in an intro that is eerily mirroring the exact intro that is present in Splatoon 1.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nearly shot for shot.
You're even in an octo.
Aliens are coming!
Again!
Why didn't now? What I want to know is why was there not a spare suit for little buddy?
Oh, that would have been great, but
Well,
unfortunately,
This is specious.
Well,
here's
apparently,
my
from what we know, it's a hand down from Captain 3, which Salmonids didn't exist in Splatoon 1.
true.
Well, not in game.
Not in game, no.
yes.
They existed. They just was
In
like,
universe.
yeah,
Yeah.
just not a part of the game, like at all, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, some cool stuff. With it. The single player, like, at first, like, yeah, you get that, like, little fake out at the start. But then afterwards, the game kind of becomes like, hey, we took the overworld exploration from, like, the rest of, from, like, the single player campaigns that we usually did, and then just made the levels Octo expansion.
I got half of what I wanted for the story. Half.
What half did you get?
The part where DJ Octavio's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we start off. This is the first boss.
Yeah.
But my man, it is a really dumbed down version of that boss fight from 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, no, it is like you play that and like if you never played 1 or 2, if you never played 1 or 2, you kind of wonder like how is this ever the final boss? How bad were we at this game? But
it's just so,
no, he is just
his attacks are so slow.
yeah,
Yeah.
like genuinely just glacier slow.
It's actually painfully slow.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, I just like that I can say, yeah, DJ Octavio, swell dude.
Yeah. As it turns out, like there's just a whole misunderstanding. You lose your hero suit, and boy, I can't wait until we get like the damaged hero suit as like a thing that we can unlock. Probably not for a while though.
I'm sure that hasn't happened already, but
Nope, not as far as I'm aware.
we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, then the levels themselves start, and it's kind of like, all right, you get your choices of using. For a lot of the levels, you just get your choices of using either the hero weapon or the or like whatever's provided, and you can just do whatever.
Yeah, and if you have the hero weapon, you have access to Little Buddy, and Little Buddy is the most useful bomb to ever bomb.
Yeah. Plus, a whole bunch of stuff actually is just like super. The whole campaign is actually super non-linear if you like have the power eggs to get through it.
It's probably the perfect mix of Octo expansion and what the original stories were.
Yeah,
In terms
for sure.
of the level design.
For sure.
Not as difficult as Octo expansion, but it was never going to live up to that with the story needing to be a tutorial.
No. I don't think it was ever going to be as difficult as Octo expansion, given that it was going to be the base storyline. But I'm kind of expecting that, like, the DLC, the paid DLC that's going to happen later down the line that we already know about, is probably going to be, like, where the actual difficulty is going to be.
When did they say that was coming out? Spring?
Unsure. I don't know if they ever gave us a time frame for it.
I don't remember a time frame. I think we just know it's coming.
Yeah, we know it's coming, and they showed us silhouettes of Off the Hook, so that's nice.
We know it's. I thought they said it was coming in year 1.
If it is coming in year 1, then it's probably not until 2023, but like probably first half, maybe summer.
Okay, I remember this, so I'll try write it down.
That's fine.
I'll have to check that at some point. But no, Hub World pretty good. Just kind of. I mean, I like the snowy aesthetic, so I just kind of liked the design a lot.
Oh yeah, same.
Not sure how everyone else felt, but
Couple of the I think it looked really nice. It definitely just kind of looked like it was it kind of looked like it was correct for what they were going for.
It fit the hero shot design.
Mm-hmm.
It was just kind of like the I don't know how to, like, the climbing grapple. So I can't. It's just like grapple weapon that the hero shot looks like. So
Yeah,
eh.
Yeah.
it's very boxy. So like the hero shot just kind of looks like it kind of looks like a build your own firearm kind of thing, but like the more attachments you put on it, the better it gets, sort of thing. Very
Eh,
modular, I guess.
kind of, and they do have an upgrade system.
Yeah,
Um,
a whole skill tree. It's like not very deep, but it's there.
Yeah.
and it's just like how hard would you like the game to be? Playable to fucking impossible
Oh yeah. Okay, you can.
for one of
Oh,
the bosses we'll talk about later.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I hear that Kyon was going a long time in the single player without upgrading anything and was having a time.
So Kyon made it to that boss, and man, it's funny how something goes from wow, I'm getting my ass kicked to wow, this is trivial in one upgrade.
Yeah.
Yep.
That being said, I think Kyon's finished it.
I think so. I
Uh,
will say just in general, like, I feel as if the general difficulty of the kettles were, like, not too bad. There were, like, a couple of hard ones, but, like, I felt as if it really depended on your weapon choice as to whether or not you'd have a hard time with them. There's one in particular where you're on, like, that pretty much everyone knows about if you've gone through it, where you end up going through a whole rail gauntlet where you have to shoot targets and there are no checkpoints.
I need you to be more specific.
Yeah, there are several of those. I know.
See, I want to like those missions because they have my favorite song in single player, but it's also like, my gosh, I'm tearing my hair out of these sometimes.
Yeah, it was one where you had, I think there was a blaster, a stringer, and I forget what the third weapon was.
It was a heavy.
Heavy, yeah. But yeah, that was like a whole thing, and it ended up being like one of the harder ones, but like really dependent on what weapon you were using for it, because I thought that it was like trivial on like Tri-Stringer, for instance. But then like I tried to do it with the blaster, and I was like, oh, I really need to like make those weapons. I really need to make these shots count.
Just gonna state as someone who's 1000%ed the story mode. Some people are some of those maps are not nearly as hard as people say they are.
Oh yeah, no. I also 1000%ed it and just kind of was like, yeah, I don't see where people are having difficulty with some of these.
It's like, oh, okay, first time you don't know what you're doing, okay. Everything after that, though, is like, actually, this is pretty easy.
Yeah.
I didn't really think anything was overly difficult. I may have game over like once or twice on the later levels, but nothing worse than that, really. It was more just reactions to stuff they actually brought back from Octo expansion that was kind of like, oh gosh, no.
Okay, what did
Yeah.
people think the hardest stage was?
We're not counting the post-game one in this discussion, by the way.
Yeah.
No, we're not
'Cause
counting after
that-
Alterna.
Yeah, we're not counting that one. But,
That's an easy answer.
Yeah.
it kind of depends for me, because, like, I felt like there were only a couple of stages, like, a very small handful that I had to, like, actually, like, retry to the point of I had to use a continue and pay the fee again.
Speaking of, the fees aren't very high either.
No, they aren't. Even after when I finished the story mode 1000%, I had like
Why do we get such? Why do we get
65K?
I don't understand why we get such a huge bonus for the first clear.
Okay, that one I can
That's
get,
probably
'cause
just
it
to
was-
like facilitate you. Hey, if you want to move on, you can.
Yeah. Also because some
Give
of
you a
the
little bit of freedom of
cost
which stages
for-
you want to play in order to continue.
It's just
Yeah.
not that hard. It's just like it makes it really easy.
But yeah, that target test stage I think was difficult for me to 1000% specifically, but like other than that, like
I honestly
Target
don't.
test. There's one on the first island I don't think should have been on the first island.
What?
If you know, you know.
You
What?
wanna be a big shot?
Yes, that one. I didn't think it was too difficult because it didn't take me that long. I didn't even need to continue on that one. I died like maybe twice, but
Nah.
I'm just
That,
like maybe it shouldn't have been on the first island.
I think that stage is one of the most fun.
I mean, I had a fun time with it.
As for hardest,
Yeah, hardest I think is a hard one for me.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't really struggle with any of them. The only times I struggled was when I just tried to go too fast. It was just like playing
Oh,
dumb.
here's one that I think is up there. It's probably not the hardest. The stealth one in Island 6 that you only have curling bomb for.
The I don't know if I
Like,
necessarily agree with that one. I thought the curling bomb ones were fine.
I don't remember an island sinking with curling boom. I'll be real. I remember one shrinking with mini.
I don't know. But
I
yeah, it's
don't.
like stealth, and you only have curling bombs, and you can't touch enemy ink. But
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I rushed too much on that one.
Yeah.
I I could have had an easy time of that one. I chose speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a couple of at least like really cool ideas for levels also. The one that usually sticks out in my mind is the maze.
Maze is all right.
It's fine.
Cuz
My
like
one.
it starts out as a normal maze that you just kind of like if like you will very quickly figure out, "Oh, I can just kind of cheese this, can't I?" And then
Yeah.
you reach the halfway point of the level and then you have to climb it. It goes vertical and now you have to climb it.
I just wish there was more to it.
Yeah. Like I
It's
think the
just like
idea is really cool. I just think like the execution is probably just like
there's nothing stopping you from climbing.
yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, I just go out of my way and kill the enemies before I even flip the maze. So there's really
Yeah.
nothing stopping you at that point.
Which
You
is
killed
prob
enemies?
yeah, I mean, you don't have to kill the enemies if you know what you're doing, but yeah,
Yeah.
it can
There
help.
were enemies?
There were a couple, yeah.
Yeah, not a ton, but
I don't know that I believe you. But no,
Other minor little things also. I actually really liked the fact that like this was a single player where we actually had the choice of having Agent 3 be either an Inkling or an Octoling. Doesn't matter, just pick one.
well, yeah,
yeah.
because we.
We
I
have
mean,
gone past the point of Octolings being ostracized.
we
Not
say as I
stopping cuttlefish as relapsing for a bit, but
we
yeah.
say as I swap back to an Inkling in this game,
Well,
despite playing.
I was playing
Yeah,
Inkling in 2. I was kind of switching back and forth for a while. I settled on Inkling in 2, but now I'm
I
on Octoling, and I'm just staying on Octoling.
I played Octoling the entire time it was available in 2, and I just don't like how the Octolings look in this game.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. I had to lure, so I stuck with Octoling anyway. I haven't really switched since Octo expansion came out, but
I haven't either.
yeah.
That being said, oh, what was the hammer stage where you
The
have to?
Hammer stage, yeah, that was like
Oh,
one
the
of the
hammer stage with
last
the bowling
ones.
balls?
That one
Yeah.
was really fun.
I had a lot of fun figuring out how
All
to
right,
best use that one with the canned specials.
all right. Most memorable slash fun level, and why is it Splashdown?
Splashdown level had no right being as good as it was.
It really didn't.
You play comp Splatoon, that becomes the most fun level because you finally do something you're not allowed to do.
Land
Land a
splashdown.
splashdown.
True.
Zipcaster ones were also fun. One of them I think had the best like finish,
Yeah.
but it's hard for me to say that any of them were better than the splashdown level.
That one's pretty good.
There was
Shout out
also
to the one in Island 1 that only lets you lose little buddy.
oh yeah, the one that was basically just like, hey, little buddy's pretty good.
Yeah.
Little buddy.
And yeah, he is. This is very good.
Yeah.
Especially if you upgrade him.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. He'll tear through everything.
He will, in fact, tear through everything.
He has appetite.
Mm-hmm.
He wants snackums.
It's like, what if some other single player stages remember, like, for being fun or just like the feeling around them? Like,
The
what
one
stuck
where you
out?
have to use the angle shooter.
Oh
In
yeah, the
time
angle
between-
shooter one was really fun to
Oh
piece
yeah, that
together.
puzzle one, yeah.
was
It was
just
fun.
timed, and you had to get the timing right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one where you had to break a whole bunch of boxes while you were moving away from an advancing wall of death. That one was pretty tense.
Yeah, that one too.
That one is very hard with Flingza.
Oh god, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I had to try it 3 times because yeah.
Yeah.
Do a lot of damage to those boxes.
With
Some of those bosses are pretty beefy.
with Flingza, that was definitely a harder one.
I'm thinking about the one where you have to shoot boxes that they launch at you, and then sometimes the last set can fake you out.
That one was another weapon dependent one for me.
Yeah.
I found that one relatively easy.
Yeah, I don't remember which weapon. I think it was the Squiffer actually that I struggled with on that one.
The Squiffer definitely gave me, yeah, a little bit of trouble.
The other two weapons I think I had a perfectly fine time with, but yeah, the Squiffer was difficult for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the splashdown level doesn't deserve to be as fun as it is. Do you want to talk about the bosses now?
Bosses are a lot of fun, actually.
So the bosses are deep cut.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that, actually. It's
No,
a
I
nice
wasn't
change.
either. And I like that you can just shoot Shiver before she attacks.
yeah, you can.
It's like,
There is nothing
aha!
stopping you.
It's like,
Yeah.
aha! I got a shark. Oh no, bullets! My one weakness. What do you mean you don't have to hit in melee range?
Yeah,
Sounds like an unintentional tutorial to the crafting, actually.
more than the crab tank level itself, which was honestly kind of dull, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
The best part about it was them praising the crab tank instead of you, honestly.
Yeah.
it was just destroy the targets.
Yeah, and there was like no time limit or any danger of dying or anything like that, so it's like,
Yeah.
eh.
It's like, it wasn't even one of the most prominent standout destroy the target levels. There were like 2 others that were marginally more remembered than that one.
Delfino Plaza theme.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Big Man's fight, because,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That so we talked about a fight that is hard unless you upgrade your weapon. Okay. Big Man will just kind of kick your butt because, well,
yeah.
he'll paint the entire stage and just throw bombs at you.
Yeah.
And if the entire stage is painted, you can't run from the bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you upgrade your gun at all, he can't paint the stage. Actually, it's a callback to Delfino Plaza Manta Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Fantasia.
the Manta Storm, it was like the Phantom Manta or whatever in
Yeah.
Serena Beach.
Yeah. It's just that. But if you find Big Man and kill his Manta, it just ends.
Yeah.
Upgrading the sensor and then upgrading the gun, it's just like you never run out of ink, and well,
Oh, you just took out the process.
and you
Fine.
get to use the sensor to find the one that has Big Man in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I was doing 1000%, I had a fully upgraded gun before I even got to that fight. So
Yeah, same.
Hmm.
So the fight wasn't really all that hard, but I just found the callback to be really cool. Like, considering also that, like, a lot of people ended up, like, back in Splatoon 1, there were a lot of comparisons back to Super Mario Sunshine back then,
Well, don't forget,
which ended up
Miyamoto
being
suggested Splatoon
accidental
be a
also.
Mario game. Yeah.
Yeah, and then,
I'm just sad that the
and now we
third
get to
wave.
this game, and we have the whole ass reference.
I'm just
It's even the
sad
same
that
ink colors.
I'm just sad that in the third wave, of Big Man's fight, I found him right away because I just wanted to draw that out longer.
Unfortunate.
And then Fry's fight was the 1,000 eels,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like a lot of eels.
With, like, the Octo Stomp, like, she's just dancing on top of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just kind of like, you know, I guess technically it hasn't missed a game as a result.
Octo Stomp will never die. It simply comes back stronger.
He brought that sweet new coat again.
Yeah.
So yeah, has not missed a game. And then you just have to kill the fake eels and then the real eels to
Yeah.
beat up Fry because they all go back to their master for some reason.
Yep. I mean, it has to work out somehow. All the fights are like pretty interesting. I think the Shiver and the Shiver and Fry fights at least still hold up pretty decently with upgrades. Just Big Man unfortunately gets trivialized by them.
How did we feel about the like fuzzy ink covering parts and having to expend power eggs to clear it?
Honestly, I kind of liked the whole loop of doing that. It was
Yeah.
like it was kind of like it was basically just like I just liked exploring like the new hubs and just like figuring out, oh, how am I supposed to what is the fuzzy ink hiding, to see like how am I supposed to get up? Am I going to go up by like an ink rail? Is there like a furler or something? Uh
See, I really liked it. I don't know how they're gonna do it again though.
yeah. I mean, it's probably they're not going to do it again is the thing.
It's
Probably
better than
not
just
anyway.
like I have the whole world open to me and oh well, I've explored it all in like 2 minutes.
Yeah. It doesn't take you that long to explore all of it, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like it. I just don't know how they're gonna do it again. Like what excuse they're gonna have or what way they're gonna find.
Yeah.
I
Want
mean,
them to do it again.
if they want to keep it this way, I feel like you make one gigantic hub and then section it off by like level clearing. I guess like a normal collectathon would. I
Yeah.
think that's one way you could possibly do it, but
I don't know.
yeah.
I just thought it was neat.
Yeah. The the fact that it was also an insta kill thing was like not super annoying when it was in the hub world. So like
Eh,
this
you didn't
was
have
Two
to
lives don't really lose anything. Yeah.
hardly
yeah.
lose time.
The animation's also kind of funny, so like, yeah.
Now you two can be Captain Caveman without the nose.
I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember what the character was called. I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
Captain Caveman. You're a Splatoon.
This is
That's my
where I
secret.
take
I
the
was
time to
always a
shell out.
Splatoon.
Please watch Jellystone. This is very great. It's written by the person who wrote Chowder, in case you were wondering.
Ooh.
I'm not sure if that's a positive or a negative.
Depends on if you liked Chowder.
It depends on if you like that kind of comedy.
I mean, I liked the comedy. The show was just look.
Weird.
That could be a positive or a negative. All I'm
Yeah,
saying. It had moments, and then it had moments.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. It's all a
Anything
matter of
with
opinion. You take
any
away from that.
anything with Anais was just weird. If you remember that character.
I don't actually. Been a hot minute since I watched Chowder.
The girl who had a crush on Chowder.
Oh yeah, because that character trope is
Panini,
just
yeah.
always
Yeah.
is always uncomfortable. You're not changing my
She
mind
was
on
also
that.
very, very obsessive. So
Yeah, because they never write that character in a way that's like actually like entertaining. I think it's always just uncomfortable.
Panini.
Yeah.
Look, there are too many pink rabbits.
yeah.
There are way too many pink rabbits in cartoons.
Yeah,
hmm
there are a lot of them, but this is what color coding and all that stuff. But anyway,
Yeah.
back to funny Squid Game.
Yeah. Back to funny Squid Game.
Um,
I think the best character was, like in cutscenes, was just Little Buddy.
oh yeah, little
Didn't
just
even do anything. He just danced.
he's just vibing.
Look,
He was
man.
just vibing until he wasn't.
When 2 and 3 first happened, I was like, "Oh, we have a salmon." I was like, "I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this." And then the little buddy became my best character, and if anything happened to him, I'd destroy everybody.
I have only had Little Buddy for 5 minutes, and if anything were to happen to him, I would kill everyone in this room, including myself. And then myself.
Yeah,
I think I posted that the day of the first direct.
yeah. People latched onto like Little Buddy so fast. I'm not surprised though.
He's great. How could you not like little buddy?
I don't know.
I'm just gonna make a joke, but I think, given geopolitical situations, I'm not gonna make it.
Probably for the best.
That being said, yeah, no, Little Buddy is great. Oh, there was a secondary thing. I really liked most of the music.
Oh,
Namely, number 5, number 6, and Calamari Incantation 3 mix.
Well, that last one's cheating,
No, it's
but
not.
it was very good though.
It's
yeah.
objectionably correct.
Let's see. A 5, I know what that is. That was the one where they brought back the box breaking puzzle, and I immediately started freaking out. But it's also tied to something else early on.
I mean, I'm just telling you the ones that I put in the like PSL music list.
Yeah. 6 is my favorite, which is just Squid Daft Punk. So
Yes, yes, Squid Daft Punk.
it's
Honestly,
also the one you can
single
tear your
player,
head off for because it's on the target levels for some reason.
Harder, better, faster, strong.
it was good stuff.
Yeah. No, I like all the music in single player. It's really good.
No, I think there's one track I don't care for, but I don't remember which one it is. But
That's fair.
oh, the 3 mix.
Remix
Oh, the
was so
3
good.
mix is so good because it's spoilers. It's DJ Octavio with doing the bass line, harmony, melody, and then it's just vocals done by Deep Cut.
Yeah, you have both the Squid Sisters and Deep Cut doing vocals there.
Yeah.
Ironically, the Squid Sisters got the least amount of time singing in their own song.
To be fair, I've also done it twice already.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But no, the team up with DJ Octavio to save the day is what I wanted from the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's just DJ Octavio does good guy thing.
Yeah. And I'm great we got it. It was just like there was no build up to it though.
There was a hint of it at the start, but then he just kind of didn't show up for the longest time.
Yeah.
I'm kind of fine with that because it's like it just kind of shows as like he's here to be because he's petty.
Yeah, he's
And
petty, and
he-
he's just like, well, Captain Cuttlefish has gotten in my way a whole bunch. So clearly, the reason I'm having troubles right now is because of Cuttlefish.
You know what?
Yeah.
And then he just gets to like, you know what? As much as I hate you, Cuttlefish, fuck this bear.
Yeah.
Put
All
aside
right.
our differences.
All right, so I think this is the part where we can start talking about the end game.
Big buddy.
So yeah,
Big buddy.
so the end game kind of starts with you having basically having the whole single player campaign has shades of Octo expansion throughout, and then like when you reach the finale, it just becomes Octo expansion full stop.
Easier version.
Definitely easier, but
Yes.
it was still Octo expansion at the end of the
Expansion.
day in the way that they handled the climb to the rocket.
Yeah.
Which, my opinion, not a bad thing.
It doesn't hit the same high, but it's still good.
Yeah, it was still good. We had a cool Zipcaster segment again. And
I think the overall was better, but I think the atmosphere was worse.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. I can kind of see it considering, yeah, I don't think this song we got is as good. I still like it. It's just, it didn't hit the
Nasty-
same notes. Yeah.
You're comparing yourself to Nasty Majesty. It's just not.
Yeah. It's almost kind of not fair. So.
Nasty Majesty, Shark Bites. It's like, yeah, the songs were never going to top.
And then ending on Fly Octo Fly. Now, granted, I think the end song was better, but that's because it's Incantation.
Incantation is cheating. I will die on this hill. Incantation is always cheating. It is just too much of a bop.
Is it cheating if you wrote the answer guide? I'm just saying.
That's semantics at that point.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, I just wanted more difficulty.
Yeah, I feel as if you're going to get that difficulty in the follow-up campaign that's happening. Which, I don't even know what ground they're going to cover with it. It's just, who knows what Off the Hook is up to, I guess.
Some damp socks.
Yeah. I'm just so happy that, like, those songs, like, there's so much, like, this is, like, kind of going off the topic of single player, but I'm just happy that, like, there's so much music to start out.
The music in this game is a lot better.
Yeah.
Like, I have probably listened to the Damp Socks song in the multiplayer probably 100 times. It's still a bop.
Yeah. I love the Damp Socks songs. Seaside is like one of the strongest bands, I think, in Splatoon's history.
Honestly, yeah.
I am super into their style of music.
Yeah.
So clickbait has been living rent free in my head, which is basically kind of like the quote unquote theme of Splatoon 3. Because like Splatac was the first song that we heard, yes, but that's the series' theme, I think, not Splatoon 3's.
I preferred the trailer version of Splatac. Because they did change it.
Yeah, and that's fair too, because even 2 got some of that. Some people like the test-fire versions of the songs in 2 more than the final versions, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's just a matter of taste, though. I prefer the final versions, personally, but yeah. I think that's fair.
For Seaside, I'm still in the See Me Now. That's still great for me. There's one we don't have named that kind of reminds me of Inkersync from the first game, and I really like that one.
Yeah. Music.
Yeah, Paint Scraper is the one that usually is the one that gets me fired up.
It's really weird that the Splatoon 2 endgame music is in the lobby.
There's music from all over the series in the lobby. There's a lot of music in the lobby. You just probably
why the endgame music? Like the endgame, like lost music. Why is that there?
Probably because it's a lot more chill than the defeat music in the first game. I don't know. It's just.
But I don't like losing.
I know.
Anyway, going back to the single player for a second here. So, like, there are still a couple of things that ended up happening in the end game that kind of threw me for a loop.
Like,
Like what happened to Cuttlefish.
bro got
Oh, yeah.
dehydrated. This is why you drink water, kids.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to end up like a fucking dried squid there.
You really want to?
Nobody
You
wants
really
that.
want a bear to come out and steal your fluid?
I'm just like the implications of this because he stays like that. So
Yeah, he's fine, apparently.
Yeah.
Well,
Is he stuck like that? I don't know.
well, supposedly, Grizz took his brain out.
Or something like that.
What the
Something like that.
dialogue tells me.
And then he ends up just he's just a dehydrated squid now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he
Speaking of
stay like
dialogue,
that?
can I?
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's in Table Turf. Does he stay like that in Table Turf?
I don't actually know because I've
I
not
don't
done a
know.
lot of table
Damn,
turf.
I haven't gotten that far. Although some people seem to suggest yes, so we'll have to see.
I don't know. That would be
Apparently, the
hilarious.
answer is yes. So
How does that form play cards?
I mean, it can still. He can
Don't
still move
worry
his
about it.
tentacles. So
just don't worry about it.
I don't care for the comeback from crying trope, to be honest. That's kind of
I mean, yeah, that one was definitely.
That was
cliche.
okay. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that's kind of an overdone trope. Yeah, but like whatever.
as someone who will bring up tropes and cliches during anime night, man, that's a trope.
It is. Yeah, it is
That's
1000%. But I'm like,
that's a cliches trope and a tropes cliche.
I think it still worked out fine enough. It's just, yeah, maybe a little bit too like easy to see coming. Also,
You should have just committed to killing him.
there was no way they would have.
Should have just
Honestly,
committed.
yeah.
Should have just committed to it.
Although they did commit to something else that I'm actually shocked they followed up on.
What? No, you're not getting your severance.
Okay, mention
greatest-
Can
the
I mention
greatest-
that I like?
No. The greatest final line in any story.
Yeah,
No,
that's
you will
great.
not. And you will not be getting your severance.
I love Griss's dialogue. He is a businessman to the end, and I respect that about him.
It made it feel so much nicer to just completely punch his throat in by the end.
Yeah. There was that line in the "Don't call it Harmageddon." HR doesn't like it.
Call it Harmageddon. HR doesn't like it. I think I was in a call with someone with it, and they immediately said, "Oh, by the way, it's Harmageddon." I think I said Harmageddon, and then they said, "Oh, wait, no, can't call it that." And then the person who called was like, "Yeah, Harmageddon."
Yeah.
I love that line so much.
But yeah, the whole fight with Mr. Grizz was also kind of like, it was actually really cool, I think. Just basically just like, hey, we're basically just going to test you on like we're basically just going to have you weaponize little buddy to like the logical extreme, and then it culminates in the best possible way.
I think Big Buddy is really shoehorned.
It's a little it's more than a little shoehorned, but it's cool, so we give it a pass.
It is a literal Deus Ex Machina.
It is.
I mean, I get the idea. Like, it is kind of foreshadowed in the lore because it's like, oh yeah, you have the Inklings, you have Inklings, Octarians,
they get
and you have the Salmonids teaming up basically, which apparently causes like this mystical thing to happen.
They get superpowers from eating a bunch of power eggs.
Yeah.
It's the lore. But like, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
The power of the sea. You can now breathe in space and I'll become huge.
Well, I mean, for Agent 3, they still needed a helmet. It was like a futuristic kind of helmet, but it was still a helmet.
Yeah, Agent 3 needed a helmet. Also, how did Little Buddy even catch up to Agent 3?
Don't worry about it.
I
Agent 3, Agent 3 pressed this way, and little buddy just ended up in the backpack.
Don't ask
Sword
questions you aren't prepared to handle the answers to.
This way! Man, who would have thought this way was actually useful?
Yeah.
Much less overpowered.
Hey, sometimes I pop it during matches, and teammates will actually help me. Usually when I'm under attack.
Yeah, sometimes they listen. Just mostly they don't.
I wish there was a little more to the final to the Mr. Grizz fight.
A little more, yeah, because
But
like
at least-
it's.
But hey, at least I get a little statue of him in the mouth of a salmon.
Oh, yeah. The change to the lobby is very good, and it's
The
basically just kind of a
implications, though,
shorthand
who's
thing
running
of like.
Grisco now?
Yeah, it's also like a nice little shorthand way of being like, hey, you know whether or not this person has finished the story mode based on whether or not they have that statue or the normal Mr. Grizz statue.
Yeah.
Man, why is there a giant salmon with a bear in its... Oh.
Oh. Okay, so that makes me. How early did you guys figure it out?
That it was Mr. Grizz.
Yeah.
I had a suspicion, but then like
figure out that it was Mr. Grizz or suspect that it was Mr. Grizz?
Okay, let's do both then. When did you suspect and when did you actually figure it out?
When the story trailer came out.
Okay.
Yeah, when I suspected it, it was when the story trailer came out, because it was like fuzzy ooze, so I'm just kind of like, there were already theories flying around that Mr. Grizz was actually secretly a bad guy. So
when I figured it out, per se, is a little hard to say, because I kind of assumed it the whole time, but I guess the first time someone with business speak spoke, it's like, okay, yeah, they did this.
yeah. It's like they established that Mr. Grizz has a very particular way of speaking, so it's like once we have a character that's speaking like that, it's like, yup, Grizz.
Because the secondary assumption, and you kind of have to keep it in the back of your head, even though you're assuming it's Mr. Grizz, is that there's more than one Tartar.
That would have been, I think,
Yeah!
a stretch, but yeah.
A little bit.
Well, the
But
Alterna
also
AI.
the Alterna law, yeah. Also Orca. Orca's kind of the same way, honestly.
Like it was either going to be Orca or Mr. Grizz.
Yeah.
It was only going to be one of those two.
I was not suspecting Orca, personally.
I didn't think it would be Orca,
Yeah.
but that does not eliminate the possibility.
It didn't eliminate the possibility.
Yeah, because like Orca kind of felt more like an unfeeling machine rather than Tartar being like, oh, I have to try and like match my personality in order to dupe these guys.
Okay, but
Yeah.
Orca did respond to your backsass.
I think that was just for the sake of having a joke there.
Yeah.
Orca just ... like, bruh, I'm helping you.
Like it's much more. It was much more devoid of real personality. I think it's really just kind of like it wants to be like super like just like formal with you, and just sometimes it just has to like take a breath, so to speak.
Yeah.
But no, I kind of suspect it would be Mr. Grizz. Just honestly, you know what the real like tip off was? It wasn't even really the first trailer. SOS Save Our Salmon.
Yeah. You know what? Thinking back on it, because it just kind of came out of left field because we, at that point, didn't even know Splatoon 3 was happening yet.
That was actually a really weird thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why some people see an extra S in there. It's just like, no, that's just the wave because it doesn't match the first S.
Yeah.
But I understand, but it doesn't change the meaning, so it's fine.
Still really
So-
cool that they were like hinting at that all that time ago.
Well, okay, so who knows the rumor?
What is
Rumor?
I don't know.
I'm like,
the
I don't
rumor.
feel like I remember this, but
This game was supposed to come out last year
oh, that one.
or 2 years ago, but COVID
Oh
basically
yeah,
stalled
yeah.
production.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna say that's not a possibility, considering I'm pretty sure most of this team is still the Animal Crossing team. So
The rumor I heard, this game was supposed to come out. This game was supposed to get announced at the end, like mid 2020. and come out early 2021.
And
But-
then that didn't happen because of COVID.
Yeah. Because of
Yes.
Which I think is very understandable.
COVID. Yeah.
Which I wonder how different it would have looked.
You know, probably decently different. Maybe not too
I don't think
different.
we have as much
but,
content
like,
as we did at the start of the actual game, honestly, for one.
Don't let some parts of the community let you hear you say that. It's my god, people are. Some people are entitled.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
this the
there's
same
like
part of the community that's like upset that we don't have 2 kits for every weapon to start?
it's the part that was Doom posting about Splatoon 3 before the last trailer was even out.
Oh, okay.
It has no new content. Everything looks the same. It's like we have another trailer coming like a month before the game's release. Like just based on Nintendo's pattern from the year. How we haven't even seen everything. Table Turf wasn't shown yet.
Yeah.
Nope, it was not.
Oh. There is a lot of good content in this game if you care to play it.
Yeah. It's just not all of it is going to be located in the multiplayer. There's only so much that you can really do with that at this point, honestly.
I would-
Yeah.
Well, we know
Without-
Table Turf multiplayer is coming at some point.
At some point.
At some point, yes. Probably
We don't know. They're probably trying to make sure the online actually works before they add that added stress.
Yeah, which I think is probably fine. Because,
Yeah.
like, yeah,
I mean,
the
it's
current...
certainly taking a bit. It's not perfect. They're getting there, though.
It is improving slowly but steadily, but, like, the emphasis on slowly. This has been a bit of a rough launch.
This is already the third best-selling game in Japan in all of the Switch's history. Easy to say. There's a lot more strain than they expected.
Didn't they hit like half the lifetime sales of 2 in Japan in the first week?
Yeah.
No, it became the third best-selling game on Switch in Japan in the first week.
Yep.
Gosh, yeah.
Never mind that Nintendo does not know how multiplayer works to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember Capcom's thing of the PC stuff always breaks. Give them time like we gave Capcom time. They'll
Yeah.
figure it out
They'll figure it out.
eventually.
Eventually, yes.
One day. That being said, I found the last part. I didn't really find the Mr. Grizz fight to be much of a fight as much as it was a cutscene.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
You didn't
It wasn't like
directly involve
You
yourself?
didn't actually fight Grizz
not really.
at all.
You were just trying to get to him mostly. He attacked you occasionally, but like not terribly often.
Also,
Mostly
the
he
running
just-
trend of this game of enemies for some reason having specials. My gosh.
He just kind of rotated the ship.
He did do a
Space
claw
Bag.
attack in the later phase, but that's
Yeah.
about it.
Did?
Yeah, he did.
It's basically.
You might have
like,
got
that
through
butter
him
is
a
what's
little too
on
fast, but he did
Yeah.
have it.
Oh, in the first phase. Okay.
Should have in the laser phase
In the
too.
se-
'Cause I'm pretty
yeah,
sure he
the
has
s-
more like waves.
The second phase was basically like, okay, big like little buddy's distracting him. Now you have to basically just kill him while he's distracted, but he doesn't really put up much of a fight there, so it's like, eh.
Oh right,
Just
the
vibe
killer
and listen
whale
to them.
attack too that he has in the last phase.
Oh, yeah, he did have a killer whale.
It caught me once, so I'll give him that because I wasn't
I-
expecting it the first time.
I
I'll
don't
just-
think I
Yeah.
saw the killer whale. I'm gonna be real.
I'll just say it. I think that like in terms of final boss fights, I kind of feel as if Octavio from Splat 1 is still the king here.
Well, yeah,
Mostly
because 2 is just that again, so you can't top the original.
Well, yeah, because Tartar wasn't a boss fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for me to count harder because it's like, yeah, this was a
Paint the
platforming
statue.
challenge.
Paint the statue.
Yeah.
Also a turf war, but yeah.
I kind of feel the same about Grizz. It's not a real boss fight. It's just kind of a boss sequence.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was
I hope
fun,
there's
but
a boss fight in the next. Yeah, I mean it wasn't bad. It's just like I want an actual fight.
yeah, we got
Oh,
a couple of good actual fights in the campaign with Deep Cut, and then like Mr. Grizz just kind of ended up being like just a little disappointing.
yeah.
Yeah, I still want my severance.
Not
I
getting
do
it.
too. We're not getting it though.
I will say one other thing, just like shout outs to the fact that that in Grizzco, like I think like the whole thing with Mr. Grizz still giving you stuff talking to you via the
Well,
in Salmon Run is that his shit is just pre-recorded.
Yeah.
I mean, what I like. The thing is, well, one, we can't sue a dead body.
True.
That's true.
Two,
Probably hasn't stopped people from trying though.
Grizz doesn't hate you.
No,
No?
he doesn't really think anything of any of them, really.
Just wants the mammals back.
Yeah.
Which, considering he was supposed to go to a new planet with where humanity would repopulate, yeah, I kind of see his point. I like the callback to the Arc Polaris.
Yeah, that was a really smart callback of the lore. Just having the Arc Polaris crash down, and that became the Salmon Run stage in 2.
Well, it
Yeah.
also makes sense it's a Salmon Run stage because that's where
Yeah.
Grizz came from.
Yeah. Yeah, so what ends up happening there is really just kind of like we have all this. Salmon Run ends up being tied to things. Grizz is just
He just wants eggs.
he wants the power egg so that he can do the thing, and he was doing that for the entirety of the last however long.
He was building up for 5 years. Yep.
Yeah. And he doesn't want you to die to getting the eggs because, well, then one, he gets less eggs, and two, employees are expensive.
True. But yeah, he was like a very impersonal kind of villain, so yeah.
It was more of a means to an end kind of thing. It was never like, well, I hate you, so you must die. You're in the way.
Yeah.
Nothing personnel, kid.
Yeah. I guess we're on that. Did you guys actually bother reading the Alterna logs at all?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I read through them and was just kind of like,
yo, let's go to space in the spare rocket our elders never fixed. Ha, nerds. Oh,
we're like, hey guys, we're in a dome. Why are you trying to use a rocket indoors, you idiots?
Yes.
See you, loser. We're going to the moon. Oh, God. Oh, everything's on fire.
Humanity screwed itself, and no one was surprised.
We finally answered the question, are we a squid or a kid? The answer is we're both.
True.
The answer is deep fried.
That's also true.
It's very... The thing is, it's like, how did they die? Is the story of them dying believable? Youth saying, no, we know better. We're going outside. Fuck you, losers. Yeah, that's believable.
We forgot we were indoors. That sky's not real.
You're just scared, idiot. Oh, God, it was dangerous. If it isn't the consequences of our own actions.
I wish humans were real.
Thanks, Marina. Thanks, Marina. Oh, it's funny. This is all a simulation and we're living a lie.
It's just something so believable about, oh God, we have to go into this place so that the next generation can thrive and survive, and maybe one day the next generation, lol, die idiots.
It's just like I actually thought they split the two factions because of this, and I'm just like, all right, no, the elders were just, had common sense. Yeah, I was like, you realize we're inside a dome, right? What do you think is going to happen if you fire off a rocket?
Elders in the afterlife. See, told you so.
Yep. And now this is why the sea creatures have taken over the world. It's because, as it turns out, the Inklings and the Octarines are technically humanity's successor.
In
Yep.
irony to Tartar's point, turns out squids and octolings are the superior genetics.
Yup. I mean, to be
It's hard
fair,
to figure out he was wrong.
Inklings and Octolings get superpowers. So,
They do get them from humans, though, a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, how do you explain the super
technically-
jump?
No, the humans gave them some genes, and then
Yeah.
from that, squids adapted.
Yeah.
Well,
Or,
remember, because it was they got the crystals from the squids, so
So, yeah.
yeah.
Which is, I think, an interesting explanation of how it happened. So,
Yeah.
believable? Maybe not, but interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
They came up with an explanation.
Look,
Which
you
was
weren't.
better than we got for the last two games.
Honestly, I don't feel as if Splatoon was ever a series where you wanted to take its lore 100% seriously all the time.
I just think it's funny that they have this moment of, oh, maybe humanity is alive. They're just gonna, oh god, nope, the last log says they all burned horribly.
Yup.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't have to take the lore seriously, because, game, it's supposed to be jokey, have fun. I just
No.
like having lore, so.
The
I
fact that
find
the
that
lore is there is nice.
I
Yeah.
find the lore a very accurate representation of what I think would happen.
To humanity, yeah. Humanity would be that stupid and kill themselves. I don't think anyone can deny that.
There's no way they think we just walked into this dome for the lulz, right? Humanity, they did it for the lulz. We're going outside.
It was in that moment that they knew they fucked up.
It was in that moment the elders accepted death. Then they wondered why they were making coffins for when no one would be around to bury them.
I don't know if this is me. Is anyone else a little upset Grizz isn't actually just a bear in a business suit? Because I kind of wanted that.
Well, he had to be horribly mutated somehow. So,
Yeah.
Have you seen Grizz? Who makes a suit that big?
I mean, I assume at least before the fuzzy ooze, he was just a normal grizzly bear, right? I think you should put a suit on that.
Maybe in a suit. But you know what? Put the crystals in his fur, and oh boy, he became a big boy.
a small note, by the way. You notice in this single-player campaign, they barely threw any Octolings at you?
Yeah, actually.
Well, yeah, you're not fighting the Octolings.
Like, there is, like, a contingent of Octarians that have been, like, fuzzy oozed into working for Grizz. But, like, that's about where it stops and ends. And apparently there were just not very many Octolings that got thrown around with that.
Actually, no, that's a point, because Octario said that Cuttlefish stole his army. So where are they?
Most of them are in the post game, honestly.
Murdered
That's the real answer.
To be fair,
Three?
canonically, a whole ton of Octolings ended up not either integrating into Inkling Society or getting sanitized by Tartar. So honestly, I think it makes sense that there are not too many left with Octavio in general.
Yeah.
Given just how many Octolings there are now in, like, Inkling Society. Actually, that's also another question I have. Have the Inklings in general caught on to the fact that, like, Octolings have just kind of completely integrated at this point?
I assume
Or do they still
probably
think that
have,
they're just exotic Inklings?
If Pearl can be believed, no.
I still think Pearl's an outside edge case, honestly.
Well, also, I think Pearl was just simply Uh,
Yeah.
Pearl
you
is
know,
also an outside edge case with a large following.
yeah.
If Pearl says, "Oh yeah, they're just like Inklings," I don't think anyone's going to question Pearl.
Question.
Probably
Yeah.
not, no. Either
Especially
that or
not with
she'd be the
Marina.
subject of some sort of big controversy, and
Marina has
that...
been
Well,
on the
don't
surface.
forget, one of the Splatfests in Splatoon 2 was literally just a race war.
Marina has been on the surface the whole time, and no one has questioned this.
Nope. Honestly, I kind of feel as if, like, the Inklings are actually just kind of dull in that regard.
Dull. Yeah.
That might be for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which...
imagine if we took that Splatfest for real.
Who won that Splatfest again?
Squids.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
I should look up to see what the alternative dialogue was going to be if Octos won, because that exists for all the Splatfests, if I remember correctly.
I have to imagine it'd be very similar because I can't imagine Marina would be like, "Yay, Octolings won."
Yeah.
Well, it was also specifically worded to be Squid versus Octopus, not Inkling versus Octoling.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Marina was very nervous the entire time.
She
Yeah.
was Jeeper, I don't know. This idea is kind of, I don't know, dangerous.
Her dialogue is why it's
Pearl starts a
Pearl
race
starts
war.
a race war, not off the hook starts a race war.
To be fair, Pearl is enough of a gremlin to do something like that.
Yep.
Even as a
Absolutely.
joke.
Yeah.
Actually, it would be just as a joke.
Just to mess with Marina.
Yep.
That's just the dynamic of their relationship.
We love them for it.
Mm-hmm.
Tech savvy production genius, Gremlin.
Also, meanwhile, anyway, I'm looking forward to future installments where Deep Cut is just there to give Marie coffee, where like Shiver is being sent out to just get Marie some coffee or something.
I'm gonna be interested to see how that dynamic plays out.
Don't lie. Shiver will send Fry.
Yeah, Marie
I
will
feel
send
like
Shiver, and then Shiver will send Fry. And
Then
Fry's
Fry-
going to try and pass it off to Big Man before Fry ends up having to do it anyway.
Yeah.
No. Fry's gonna ask if Big Man wants to go with.
And then
it's going to be an adventure that Shiver gets left out of.
And then, meanwhile, what ends up happening is, on the weekends, Callie and Fry just end up getting in trouble a whole bunch.
Yeah.
How specifically? How aren't they getting in trouble?
And sometimes Big Man's there too. Not my choice, but sometimes.
Big Man's really good at camouflage. Weirdly, there's this green pile of ink that always seems to follow him.
Strange.
No idea where that comes from.
Could not tell you.
But no, other than that, like a lot of good levels. It's solid. It's like a 6 out of 10, I'd say, in terms of the story. It's my favorite of the 3 main stories.
Well, yeah, if we're counting just the base single player, then yeah. If we're counting Octo Expansion, it doesn't beat Octo Expansion.
There's a reason I said 6.
Yeah.
Well, what would you give Octo Expansion then, as a number?
9.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably be hovering 8 or 9, something like that.
There was just
I guess
mostly because I just feel as if like not every level was a hit, so that's basically it.
Some gimmicks got too much attention, other gimmicks did not get enough.
Yeah.
What do you feel didn't get enough attention?
Let me think. I think I think they could have done more with the inkjet, with the special only stages.
Yeah.
I think they did too many of the ranked modes and too many of the 8-ball.
8-ball I feel as if was like just good enough, I think, in terms of like how much it had.
8-ball had 3 big misses. but it also had 3 big hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think there was just the right amount of destroy the target stages.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, the one
Well,
8
did you
ball
feel like they
stage
missed
that I
much on
think was the one that gave me so much trouble was probably the one that was basically, okay, you have limited ink, and also, like, you have all these 8 balls and you have an E-liter. Have fun getting
the
everything
billiard
with
one.
that.
Yeah.
So the one I really liked, the billiard one was a hit.
I think it
That
was
one-
cool, I just think it was, like, hard for the wrong reasons.
There were just by the point you get to the E-liter one, you've done too many 8-ball stages.
Mhm.
Because the first one's a miss.
The first one's just introducing you to the mechanic, so it's just kind of, like, very,
Yeah,
like, dull.
But the pinball one is a hit. The one where you have to escort it's a miss.
Yeah, like,
You have to go
the
get
ones
it and then
that
escort it back.
there's a lot of them that, like, half of them are like the ones where you
That's
have
my
to
point.
escort it. So
There's just too many of them.
Yeah.
remember when there
But-
were rumors in Splatoon 2 that, like, there was going to be an 8-ball themed ranked mode?
Yes.
To be fair, there was not one ring what we just didn't get. I'm curious to see if they'll actually implement it here or not.
The thing is, people described it and it's just Rainmaker.
Which is fair. I mean, why do it when you already have Rainmaker?
Yeah.
I mean, some people have an answer to that question, but I like Rainmaker, so I have no idea.
Not me.
I'm not.
I like Rainmaker a bit better in this game, but I still am not a huge fan of it.
It's just the players. If you play with a team, it's great.
I will say I enjoy it more in a team setting, yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's how Clams goes for me. So
I'm actually souring a bit on zones, weirdly enough.
It's just this. It's just a very simple mode. There's not much to it.
Yeah. Well, it might also have to do with the fact that I think that the weapons I play are a little weaker on zones than they are on,
that and zones in this game has a lot more stalling happening. Thanks to how the specials work.
Also
There's
with
like a
the,
lot of specials that
I
can
would
just
say
stall
less
out
the
zone.
specials and more the map design for some of them.
Yeah.
Some of them also aren't great. Yeah.
Darkest of shoutouts to Eeltail Alley.
Oh.
Big zone.
I think I hate that one even more than the eel tail somehow, which is surprising for me.
Eeltail's a shit map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Or
think
Undertale, my
it
bad.
took a while, but I think
Yeah.
I've come around on the take of, yeah, Eeltail's not so good, actually.
No, so are we just gonna permaban Eeltail and PSL? Can we just do that?
We can maybe leave the turf war legal.
Turf War.
Yeah,
Well, maybe
it's
that
fine.
one.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I can't think of. Yeah, I can't think of any other mode because even
Mhm.
Tower's not that great because the first checkpoint is literally right by mid. Then,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, Orca was cool. A lot of good dialogue. I still find Callie and Marie very vanilla, but they're fine. It's just like
They have, like, fairly basic personalities at this point. Like, a lot of the things that make their characters more interesting, I think, is more, like, out-of-game material that's come out
Yeah,
for
the lore
them.
outside the game.
it's nice that I can focus. It's nice that they're the ones talking, so I can just focus on the game instead.
Harsh, but
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, Callie does get a good line in this game. What's wrong with you? Plenty, but that's besides the point.
True.
Yeah.
That is a good line.
Very good line, yeah. But yeah,
I did
I'm.
like that deep cutter pirates.
They're just like.
Honorable pirates of that. Yeah.
You have to be the worst pirates I've ever heard of, but you have heard of me.
True. They're also just kind of Team Rockety in how they carry themselves. Like, all of their
Yes.
smoke bombs just fucking blow up in their face.
Yeah, but they're supposed to.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what
It's
makes
just
it
annoying the
better.
way they wanted them to.
Team Rocket's blasting off again, just as we planned.
There's gotta be,
First
like,
one
a Pokemon episode where, like, that's actually a plot point, where Team Rocket expects to get blasted off, and that somehow makes things better for them.
I mean, them not being by Ash is usually just better for them.
Well, yeah, because they just insta-lose any time that they are. But, like,
Why do
when they get
still
the
want that
occasional
one
episode where it
specific
just
Pikachu,
focuses
though?
on them...
Okay, if your job is to find strong Pokemon and one Pikachu keeps kicking your ass, I think you'd want the Pikachu.
Well, either that, or, like, you end up just being... Or you have to, like, have the self-awareness that, like, maybe we just kind of suck at our jobs? Which is funny, because, again, Team Rocket ends up being more effective when they're not being evil.
Wasn't that the plot of Sun and Moon?
I don't know. I haven't watched Sun and Moon. I kind of want to, but I just haven't gone around to it.
I heard the anime was not very good. It's in terms of Ash.
No, that checks.
But I've also
Which is
heard good
funny.
things about Team Rocket in the newer stuff, so
Yeah, I don't know.
I just don't care about Pokemon anymore.
See, all I know about Team
I
Rocket
just
in
care
the
about
anime
the
is that they
games.
get a Beware, and then hilarity ensues. So
I
I
can't
need
even
to...
care about the games.
Like, the only thing that I need to do when it comes to Pokemon anime right now is eventually I need to watch XY. I hear XY is very, very good.
Okay, before anyone comes for my head over the Sun and Moon thing, why did X and Y? What did Ash do?
I cannot answer this question, actually.
He went to the finals for the first time. He made it to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And he went down to last Pokemon each with a type effective advantage. Sun and Moon, he goes to school as if it was the first season.
Ash just gets the reset button so often that I just continue to question, because, like, I continue to question why he's still the main character.
It's not even that it's a reset button. It's you sent him from the highest high he's ever had, and now you're taking him to the lowest low he's ever had.
Yeah.
The
I'm personally of the opinion that I think Ash should have been retired as a character at the end of the Johto arc, because that's when it stopped making... Because after that, I think it stopped making sense to keep him as the focal character in the anime.
I think you can do with Sun and Moon what you did. Not with Ash.
Like, all too often, actually, the anime only uses one design from the player characters as an actual anime character, usually the girl. The other one doesn't actually get to show up at all.
Also, X and Y anime was peak Pokemon, and I don't care what anyone says.
This is the reason why I want to watch it eventually.
Yeah, I highly recommend. Although, what's her name? Serena? Does take a little to get used to.
And personally, I fell off the anime mostly during Diamond and Pearl due to excessive filler. What I felt was excessive.
So you didn't get to see the start of Black and White, which was absolutely horrific.
I did try to watch a bit of Black and White. I made it to like the third gym, and then I stopped.
Black and White had an anime?
Yeah, it did.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, yeah. I think, given the fact that we have completely careened off of the subject of Splatoon, that we're probably done here.
Yeah, I don't have anything more to say. Just, I liked Mr. Grizz.
Yeah.
It was great. I think the atmosphere of this game is probably the best of the three, bar none. I really liked it. It doesn't touch Octo expansion, but it's...
We have one more thing I think that we should talk about, though, before we end.
Who's beaten after Alterna?
I have.
Okay, we've all beaten after Alterna. How long did it take? And what was the hardest part?
I don't...
I think it took me upwards of like... half an hour, roughly.
Took me about 25 minutes.
I'd
Yeah.
say maybe about an hour.
What does my
Probably wasn't
clear
that long.
time say? I don't think that counts deaths, but
Probably doesn't.
actually, I don't think it. Actually, I don't think I see it. I don't
It
think it's
doesn't
listed
show
in
up in the kettle. It doesn't show up in kettles.
That's
Yeah.
annoying. But actually, does it just show up here at all, or no? Like on
But
the
no,
menu?
after Alterna, great difficulty spike.
Nope,
It's
doesn't
just a
show.
nice little feel-good speed run.
Yeah, just like here's like all of the level types all at once, and it just works.
The first area is the one I had the most difficulty with. Just I kept slipping off of one of the platforms.
I had the most
Yeah,
trouble with the
definitely.
second segment. Which
Second
was,
for me as well.
Yeah. There were just a couple of
The
targets
grind
where like
rails?
yeah.
Okay. So the part that people keep telling me that was going to be the hardest was the carousel. Just because it goes very fast.
Really?
The carousel?
No.
Yeah, you don't get much gain from each jump.
Yeah, I don't think it was hard necessarily. It was just like you just get nerves because of how long it lasts.
You have to be
Yeah.
consistent over a long period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that can make you nervous, and that's kind of like the main thing I think where it
Someone
gets harder.
someone I talked to said that took them 20 minutes and then everything else was easy.
Yeah. I died a few times on most of the segments. The initial platforming was, I think, kind of difficult, but was probably my second biggest time loss. But yeah, I struggled a lot on the targets, mostly just because
Me
like
too.
some of them were just like really, some of them were just like really fast
Yeah.
in terms of
I
like
think
how much you had to aim in order to correct.
I think I died to the targets one time, but it was because the controller ate my input when swapping rails.
Yeah, when the rail swapping parts were actually the part that got me a lot, as well as the last batch. I had a
Yeah,
lot of
the
trouble
last
with the
batch was
last
definitely
batch.
the most of me after like the second segment where one of the targets was really fast, but the last one missing one or just barely hitting it and then not actually connecting on the rail as it spawns.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
the rail segment was not very remarkable to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
the final segment I think would have been a lot harder if the Octoling AI was a little better, but other than that, yeah.
People keep calling it girl power. It's not girl.
No, girl power was a lot worse.
Girl power was a lot worse. The most of that was kind of just me freaking out about them all having specials, which was
I don't even think girl power
yeah,
was that hard, but you know.
It can be overwhelming for sure, cuz
yeah.
but like once you figure out how to prioritize properly with them, it's not that bad.
The fact that you don't have an orb you have to protect makes this one easier than girl
Easier.
power.
Yeah, you can play very patiently with the After
Literally just
Alterna segment.
you literally just play at your own speed.
Yeah.
So, but no, I hope we get more levels like after Alterna in whatever DLC happens.
Yeah,
I like
probably.
I
Yeah.
liked the use of Squid Roll. I liked pretty much all of it. I like that the game just lets you go fast or do something dumb like the Splash-O-Matic stage where you don't need to shoot a single bullet of ink to pass.
Yeah.
Not
It's
a
just like,
single one.
hey, optimize this path.
Apparently Cuttlefish comments on it if you do that.
That
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
shock me. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The stage, yeah, that stage where you just are like, yeah, you have limited ink, but you can get through it without firing a single shot. Yeah, you get a comment from the captain, which is Cap, the former Agent 3, not Cuttlefish.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Of course, it's filtered through Marie, but yeah, you still get the comment.
It's a
Oh,
comment.
yeah, it's a comment. Also, I guess we didn't talk about this after post game, but the fact that they actually just communicate using the Booyah signal for the first game as
That
being true to character.
that was cute. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're just shy. They're just really shy.
And they are just really shy because you see their mouth moving.
Yeah.
So like they are talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got on the story. Good, solid, 6 out of 10. Wish it was harder, but I know why it wasn't. So,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. Well, I guess I am docking them for that, but I'm not gonna like dock them more than just my enjoyability.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good
So
story bits. Humanity is dead and it's not coming back.
so I think now I would say all of the now that we've kind of gotten through this topic finally, I don't know whether or not we're going to have another podcast until something else major really happens, because, like, we're kind of, like, on ice right now in terms of PSL events, so it's, like, basically all we could really talk about is any sort of majors that might be happening.
Winter catalog. I mean, the
Winter
biggest,
catalog is basically going to
biggest,
be, like, when we get more to talk about.
yeah, the biggest low ink just happened. Let me double check who won that.
Yeah, I know, yeah, there was low ink that happened, which is, yeah,
Deep.
usually kind of a big deal for,
Didn't Big House also happen like when we were initially supposed to have this topic?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Starburst is the best. Starburst is the best team. No surprise.
Yeah.
But kind of destroyed everyone. And then Sayonara, who was supposed to be the second best team, got upset by a pickup that had Kyo in it, which is why you never bet against Kyo.
True.
Cherry
Yeah.
Dolphins is the winner of last low ink.
Right.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah. Not too much else to say at the moment, but, like, if we get some more major news at any point, we can obviously throw together an episode on a given week.
Yeah.
But I think for now we'll just be back when we've got more to say, you know?
Hmm.
Can probably expect another PSL event to happen sometime soon-ish. I kind of want to host something this month, but at the same time, I don't know whether or not I'm going to find the time. I'm going through a lot right now in terms of IRL stuff keeping me busy.
I have a bunch of teams I coach and a lot of people that want my help. So uh, my time is limited. I've also got schoolwork ramping up, which I think I just finished my third big project of 4. I just need to upload it, basically. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Wishing
But
you well
we'll
on
have
that.
more.
Hopefully the grades go well.
We meant to have an event this month, but didn't work out because
Yeah.
So many things.
I
Yeah.
joined a team. There were just I went back really hard on the job hunt, so yeah, there's just a whole lot happening with me.
Mhm. Sure, we also trying to work on something in the background as well. At least we hope
yeah,
so.
yeah.
So
But no, we'll have. Don't know when the next cast will be, but we'll let you know when it is.
Yeah.
Probably on the Twitter.
Probably on the Twitter. If there is a major news drop at some point, we will probably throw a podcast together for it, so you can just make that assumption.
Yep.
Other than that, you can probably just expect one when the December catalog comes out.
Yep.
And we can
At least.
talk about all the new kits that are being added and how disappointing the one for Undercover is going to be.
uh, oh boy.
That weapon is never going to catch a break, mark my words.
Nope.
Radon can still have blind faith. I'm sure. I'm sure he's happy for it.
Right. Hey, wait, I've been an arbiter.
I've been par 2.
And I've been super icy.
And
And
that's a
this has
little
been
buddy.
Little Buddy.
So proud of him.
So proud. So
E.
cute.
And that's all from us. Take care.
Especially little buddy.